Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. This is Gnomes, and today we're gonna do something, another helper rig system with armature deform, that is skinning with helper bones. These ones for the upper chest region, they will definitively help in shaping the complex joint of the shoulder here. And so you see that they have some automation, these bones here. Let's just look at them like here. Okay, let's just pick this shoulder here and this helper leverage. And you see that all these bones, there are 3 chains here. We can have more or less depending on what you need. So there's one for the collarbone or clavicle here. There is one for the breast leverage or pectoralis muscles, and there is one also for this the back, which is the scapula. So there'll be many ways to rig that, but this is a setup that uses inverse kinematics bone constraint. So Aiki bone constraint to automate all this stuff. And there's a lot of things going on here. We have some, actually a few stuff. There's inverse kinematics panel with stretch, Aiki stretch, some stiffness, depending on the case. Yeah, we have some stiffness in here. No limit X, that will be no lock. But we could have some of these here and there. Maybe, so this little bone here could have some locks maybe. Anyways, and they are all trying to target from their tail, in this case, some bone in the mechanism bone here of the upper arm. Could be any other target. It could be the tweak here. Yeah, it could be the tweak here also. We could have a special dedicated target just to have a better positioning for it. We can have different targets. They don't need to have the same target. So the target is very important here. And we can have this different. And we can have also for the Aiki bone constraint varied influence. So that's pretty interesting. That will make that So there's many ways to automate this, and there's also for the scapula here, there's also a fake parent with a varied influence, which allows that alongside with the Aiki chain, this bone is the first one. It starts from here. It will also leverage slightly. So it's like, and this doesn't create any interference, not with the Aiki bone constraint. It would cause interference if we're using auto Aiki option. But these are helper bones. They are not supposed to be posed with Aiki option like that. But if we did, that would probably cause some strange interference. But anyways, for the Aiki bone constraint, in principle, this should work. So more than that, essentially that's what we're gonna build. We're gonna build this tree, then we can have more of this is very interesting setup. I haven't seen it before for helper rigs, to be fair. I just came up with this conclusion, maybe with some chats, some talk with other riggers and all that, but it came up to my mind. Maybe I've seen it, I don't know, but I've never seen a tutorial about it. So it Aiki bone constraint, not just for the limbs, but for helper rig. So a very interesting concept. We could use this for muscles. Well, for muscles that will be more complicated maybe, because the muscle, yeah, if we find a way to make this thing stretch and relax and contract with Aiki, okay. But it sounds a bit tricky. Okay, this is already sort of tricky, but it's kind of intuitive. It's not that hard. So I'm gonna build that. So let's go back to the stage 1 here. So we're gonna start immediately. So get ready. We're just gonna do the upper chest Aiki bone constraint leverage setup, because this is about leverage up and down these parts of the mesh, right? Of the upper torso. for the breast, the scapula, and the breast is not just the boobs, it's the actually all this pectoralis region. Yeah, so something like this, right? So clavicle, collarbone, scapula, yeah. And then another day we continuation. I haven't succeeded with these ones in previously. They work, but sometimes, well, this one yes, but not with the I key. And trapezium yes, but not with the I key as well. So we could have better shapes here also with this. So you can use this everywhere for the legs. So that's very interesting, that things that we may do with this. For the lower torso, maybe some things on the hips. Okay, so let's get this done. Let's go to layout, workspace, and now we can start building this from scratch. So if you want to participate real time, then get yourself ready with the mini player and your Blender. By the way, we are Blender 4.5.1. LTS is just updated. I don't know which day, but maybe today, maybe one of the last days. I haven't figured out, but it automatically updated in my system. Okay, so what we need to do here is to start, stage 1. So here we don't have the bones, but we have the waves, so you don't have to wave paint them. Just a little correction I've made, or advanced developments I've made in the previous rig. I have made these tweak handles here, so they will intake some automation of dumped tracks instead of the real tweakers. Also, I forgot, we're gonna also rotate this back to the original RX90. No, let's use normal here. RY90. No, we are in edit mode. Okay, so RZ90. Okay, so they are pointing straight up now, and now these tweaks are parented to the, these handles now, they control the deformed skeleton in terms of they are actually the handles, so they are straight, right? So something weird here. Oh, it's just we need to change some target maybe. Sorry, what's going on here? Just a buffer bone problem. Yeah, the buffer bone, we have to change the buffer bone. Okay, is the, we're gonna just apply shift alt X. I'm just showing something here. Apply, because I did this incorrectly. All right, so maybe for the hand we don't want that. So the others yes, but not the, yeah, this one will rotate while we're gonna rotate Z. Okay, right. So this will keep like that, and these others, they will have disorientation. I have to figure out how to solve that other issue. Then we're just gonna fix this. Sorry, this is just the because I've made this in the last one different. So and now I think this is better. Okay, zero this out. No, it's actually here. Yes. Okay, and symmetrize. There we go. And so what they now, this don't have bone constraints, and this one has the bone constraints. So it's targeting the dumped track of the, yeah, anything there could be. It doesn't matter. It could be the tweak. The important thing is that you see this is rotating now to dumped track, and we can still manually. So it's doing part of the job here. All right. And now this is when they are free. We could still pose and rotate it, but it was annoying. So we got to fix that, and they got better orientation. Okay, finally, folks, let's start at once. So here we need, for this, we want to solo the collections of the, okay, we need to create a new collection. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna create, I'm too fast, right? Let's start slow. I'm gonna create a collection here on the deform. So use this add or use this bone collections, right? It's a sort of equivalent, right? The main one here. Then we want to bring this to parent. Yeah, this one, this is confusing. Parent here, okay. Now we're gonna move this up. We're gonna make this before or after the fan. Can be before. So we're gonna give the same color here for the collection of the helper. We're gonna change this to help leverage. So all the leverage setups that we'll be using will be here. I know one for the lower torso, and this is one for the upper torso. We could think about something about the middle torso too, or any part of the body basically, but for now I just have this in mind. If you have any idea, then tell me please. So okay, now how to build this from scratch. Okay, we need to have some positionings. We'll start with the breast or the pectoralis. So let's go on edit mode. Yeah, let's go on object mode first. Select the mesh, tap to edit mode, and let's pick, for example, I think could be this face loop. So 3 to select mode face, Shift Alt left click here, and then Shift S cursor to selected. It's 2. And now the cursor is there. Maybe it's not in a great position, so we can instead 2 for edges. No, sorry, for 1 for vertices. Let's Shift Alt left click this edge here in the middle and right. Oh, sorry, I forgot to. Yes, okay. You need to tell me if I forget, folks. Sorry. So now we are ready. Yeah. So now it's good for the mini player, right? So here we gonna now Shift S2 again. So this is a little more to the back. I think this is better for the position of the bone that we'll be creating. So Control Tab to, yeah, I'll leave this selection here for now. Control Tab 4 to object mode. Let's select the armature object, and then with the help leverage selected, let's enable it solo. It's disabled the deform solo. Now we're also gonna use solo for the mechanism skeleton, I guess, because you can use the mechanism Control 1. No, sorry, we can need to tap Control Tab to pose mode, Control 1. You see the upper arm. We can use the upper arm, mechanism upper arm to as a target here. It is important for the Ike bone constraint because it will target the head of the bone. If I target this one, it will target its head there, and that doesn't work. So we need some bone that has its head here. So it could be the leverage, or if we want something. Yeah, I did for the leverage, but you see, anything else would work. You could do it for the tweak, or you could do, yeah, the tweak, or even the handle. The handle is kind of stupid, I think, but this one, probably this one will be a good idea. Yeah, so let's try to do the tweak instead. But actually, the idea to place it the mechanism is because, well, the mechanism are supposed to be like in between bone hierarchy layers, bone layers. So it's like collections, right? So it's a way to keep the helper bones connected, bone constraint, to not jump straight to tweaker or control or master, but keep them. Don't make these big leaps, and instead just use the mechanism because we have it. So yeah, let's use this mechanism. We can't use this. We need to use this, or you can make a new one in a special position. This is missing, so I had to fix that positioning in other ways, the tracking point. But That's okay. We're gonna use this tracking point there, this joint of this bone. Okay, so now we need to have here, and let's add a bone. Tab to edit mode, Shift A, and add a big bone here. S scale down, and then scale here. Validate scale. Okay, Shift Control Alt A. It will be a bendy bone display type because I like them for this. I think they are very appropriate for this. I don't like the visualization of the. I think we could try, like, for example, wire, but wire, you see, these things are a bit, we barely see it, and there is Shift Alt B for me. B bone, I think, is still the best, and stick I'm using more for mechanism and stuff like that. By the way, you might have noticed that another thing I've changed, I've took off the bendy bone features of all the mechanism rig because they didn't need that. It was my mistake. I wanted something happened that at some point I wanted them to have the same settings of bendy bones than the deform skeleton bendy bones, but it was useless because they nothing changed actually because of that. So the mechanism is just like that. So we could make them as stick if we want, but then it's kind of hard, right? I don't like too much, so let's keep it like this for now. And here, B bone. Okay, so let's Shift Control Alt A again. Let's make it very thin. Let's change its color. So for now, for me, I'm gonna use this color for them, and you see that its base is down, and it's exactly what we want. We want to place it at the cursor. So Shift select its head here. So to select the head, you don't, not the body. So click outside of the bone or unselect all. Alt A, right? Then C, and left click the joint. Right click to cancel this, but keep the selection. And there it is. We got the head joint there. The axis, I'm using the axis on the, on the head, not on the tail. So if we want to see what it looks like, Shift Alt B, octahedral. So it's pointing like this. Shift Alt B, B bone. So why this needs to be pointing up? Because the inverse kinematics will target this bone. So the chain needs to be pointing up in this case. So we're gonna select this joint again. Oh, I've lost the, okay, I've lost the, that's why I kept this selection. Okay, I've just tapped to edit mode to reset this cursor. Okay, tap to edit mode with the armature object, then do this again, and now Shift S, selection to cursor 8. There we go. And now we gonna use something else. I have this shortcut. So first normal. I'm not gonna use normal. Here's Shift Z. No, backslash is my shortcut for this. Global for now. This is okay. And control backslash for this one. We want here faces. Yes. Maybe I want that. No, I want this, include non-edited and this stuff. All right, so let's now when I grab one of these joints like this one, G and hold Control, it will snap directly to the mesh, and Control 1 for now. We don't want this to be distracted. We can deselect the skeleton here. It is in the way. We can deselect the tweakers. It's all in the way, right? So now it's clean. It's good that we see Shift Control Alt Z for this overlay here, right? Geometry wireframe. We can assign a shortcut for that. Okay, this is good because then we can see where the mesh is. So I want this to be somewhere about here, not straight here. It needs to follow somewhat the curvature of the torso. We can make a single bone, but I found out that two bones also work well in this case. It might have more subtleness, yes. Extrude. Now we're gonna snap to there that we don't have the good snap. So instead, I'm just gonna select this joint, Shift S2, select cursor to selected, and select, grab this one, right? And then Shift S8, and there we go. It's not parented, so we're gonna parent here is a little bit junky what I'm gonna make, because I don't have a mechanism for the torso like I have for the arms. Yet I haven't done it. Maybe I wouldn't do, but for keep organization, that would be nice to have. I'm not gonna make it because I'm still not sure which configuration I use. So instead, I'm gonna temporarily. Oh, I forgot something, folks. Actually, let's. Yeah, I totally forgot something. We need a. There's another bone here that we're gonna make. So yeah, I'm gonna pick this one. I forgot. So extrude here from here. So of course, this Shift Alt B. No, Shift Alt B. Octahedral. This is pointing the wrong direction and it's not paired. So we're gonna do something else. We're gonna Control Tab 4 to object mode. Select the mesh tab to edit mode. Like click this, the tip of the nip there in this low poly. Control Tab 4 to object mode back. Select the armature object. Tab to edit mode. And now, wait. I got lost in the. Okay, I forgot Shift S2 to place the cursor there. Okay. Let's go back here, and now select here this this bone tail joint, then Shift S, selection to cursor. Okay, now I'm gonna flip Alt F. We don't care about this. We're gonna parent this to here. So select this bone, Shift select here, and Control P. Connected. Yeah, we all do connected here. It's already connected for this one, right? We're gonna change their names here. They're gonna be so select both, Shift select, Control F2, B, select this option, and B for bones as a shortcut. Then find and replace. Yes, so it's called bone. So you're gonna, instead of find bone, we're gonna place them as pectoralis. Could be breast, but pectoralis, okay. And then we're gonna strip characters. Hold Shift, digits, punctuations, and OK. Now I have pectoralis base and pectoralis 001. That's okay. They are going up. This one we don't want like that. So Shift Alt B to be bone. Okay, it was just to see what it is doing. So you see now they are like that. This one we're gonna parent. Oh, by the way, I'm using this on edit mode. Let's just disable this for now. We don't want this to go crazy. Let's see, grab this joint and just make it sorry, just the joint C, and just move it a bit more like here, so you have a better curvature. This is not a good curvature, right? So let's try something like this. Yeah, so this position, this is what I'm still investigating what could be better, but let's place it. Yeah, it would be better to follow the mesh, but this will also work. I probably don't want something like this, right? It will break the. Yeah, this could become. But now they are sort of flattened. That in this orientation, that might be good enough. We forgot here the left and right, so we're gonna Shift select this and Shift select this one. Right clicks. We're gonna names. Auto name left right. There we go. And for this one, we're gonna call F2 boob. Actually, I'm forgetting help. No, just boob left. Okay. Then let's select Shift select this and Shift select this. I was forgetting. Control F2. Let's erase this. Let's just set name new help. For all of them. Okay, sorry. Ask, never mind. Control Z, let's go back. Prefix. Yeah, sorry. and the hyphen. And then I forgot something, is actually this bone. We're gonna make physics in the future, so we want this bone actually to be oriented differently. Yeah, we're gonna give it Shift Alt B an octahedral, so it will be clear. So this will be a different bone actually, but first of all, we're gonna Shift D to duplicate. This duplicate, which is called helper boob left, and we're gonna actually Shift Alt B to B bone again. All right. Okay, it is here. We're gonna make it bigger, so Shift Control Alt A. And this will be actually a mechanism bone. So we're gonna F2, MCH, and take off this. All right. So it will be on the I key chain. It is unparented, so let's reconnect. Control P, connected. And then this boob one, Alt F, we're gonna edit mode, sorry. Alt F, we're gonna now, we're gonna parent it to this. Keep offset to the mechanism. We're gonna click the mechanism. Let's see. Let's change this bone tab. We want the mechanism, this color here. I'm using this color from this a little too annoying. Let's Shift Control Alt A, augment it a little more. And also it's the, so this is the first bone in the I key chain that will exist for the I key bone constraint, and this is the last one in the I key chain. So okay, now this bone, Control Tab to pose mode. Okay, it controls all this, but there's no I key bone constraint yet. So let's tab to edit mode. Let's select this bone, Shift select the pectoralis here. Control, it doesn't matter this if it's on edit mode or pose mode. Control Tab 2 to pose mode, and Shift Control C to add an inverse kinematics, right? Now select here, look for the bone constraints tab in the properties editor. We want I chain length, like if I pose here, now if I pose here, things will go crazy. No, because there's nothing parented yet there. So we want the, this one, a chain length of, okay, Control 2, let's look at the overlays, the relationship lines, right? Not this, we want more. We want up to 3. Is that correct? Oh, it's the mechanism shoulder, upper arm, sorry. Okay, so you see what this does? That's already doing some job, but this is not sufficient. We want more stuff going to work here. We want, okay, we need to use tail in this case, regular stuff. We want the stretch, and the other features we don't match. We don't want a pole target. We just want this. Then the rolls, because this will be important for the next settings. Control 3 for the axis. Tab to edit mode. We want to reset all this first. Yeah, select these bones. Alt R. Okay, they reset. So with the reset here, what it can do, it collapse this. Look at the transform. I got it pinned. So it is actually useful for sometimes we need to do stuff for rigging. So first of things, I want the z-axis by default to be oriented like front, like outside of the surface. So something like this, like it was the normal of the face. Alt R, this one. Okay, it's already reset. This one I want to also rotate somewhere like here. So not exactly like the same here, but you see what I'm doing, right? We're trying to get some this is arbitrary. You can do whichever you want, but this will matter when we use the inverse kinematics settings in a moment. And the other one is this one. Okay, we can reset, and it is pointing like this. We could do for, because the breast, we can make this depending on the anatomy of the character. You can, I leave it like that, right? Okay, so and for this one we're just gonna keep the same alignment. So select the octahedral, which is the helper boob actually. Shift select the mechanism boob and then Control F2. No, sorry, not this. Shift N. Recalculate roll active bone. So now this followed the same alignment here, at least. Yeah, like this. Now we're gonna, did we parent here? Yeah, it is parented. See, mechanism boob. And now this mechanism boob has no parent. We're gonna look for the deformed skeleton. I'm just gonna parent it to the deformed chest because I don't have a mechanism chest or mechanism upper chest, something like here. So that will just work. The only thing you cannot do here in this case is to we cannot augment the IK chain here. If we augment this to the chest, then this will move the. Actually interesting, right? But it's not what we want. Look what's happening on the other side, right? Yeah, so just be careful about that. Very simple, right? So the IK chain goes up there. And so now we need Control 3. Let's collapse this end panel. What we want here is to start using the inverse kinematics panel for each one of these bones, and we'll be seeing in real time the effect. So right now we don't need the mechanism skeleton to be looking at. We don't want this deformed skeleton. We just want the helper leverage. Yeah, this is a mechanism bone, but it isn't the leverage helper system. It's not a deformed bone, so this is complicated. We can, if we want to add this, indeed, like Shift M to mechanism, then Shift M to mechanism skeleton, yeah, and then Shift M to also the deform. But yeah, it will appear in both deform and the yeah. So it's like a special case, right? Because if it's not appear here, right, it will be bad, right? We might forget. It's annoying, right? You have to have both. So I prefer to do this in this particular case. And so here, Control 1, okay, don't need the name. So what to start with this one, we'll see in real time. We need the control skeleton. We hide this, unsolo this thing. We just want this bone. So select this bone, the control shoulder, and Shift H. And now let's go back to enable the solo helper leverage system. Okay, so now we see that this is working, but what we want is this bone to be stretching, and we want to, yeah, we want some amount of stretching. We can see this in real time by enabling it. You see what it does? So we want, possibly we want a lot of stretch for this. Although this can cause some trouble, right? Yeah, the stretching can be dangerous for the deforms. Let's see, I already have waves. I've tapped to object mode. Let's select the armature, the mesh object. Control tab 7 to wave paint. Alt click the bone. Apparently I've something went wrong with the names. Okay, let's I'm sure I have the waves here. Oh, it's physics. Okay. So that's it. So we need to. Okay, again, need to go back to the armature object. Go to edit mode. So we're gonna change the name of the octaedral here, help boob, to physics boob. Okay, so because it will be a different category, so it will be good for. So now we have, if we tab to, if we go on wave paint mode here, alt click the bone, we see that now it has these waves. This one has these waves, and something is missing there. I don't know what is wrong, so I'm going to look for the pectoralis. Maybe I lost the waves. Okay, I'm gonna check. Oh, it's because it is okay. Shift Control X sample group. Let's see. Okay, it is here, but it is not getting. Oh, it's the inverted. Okay, I see. F2. Tab, Control Tab to 4. We cannot change the bone names in wave pane mode, which is super annoying. Okay, now select this. Just a little mistake here. So this. Now this has Control Tab. Select the mesh. Control Tab 7. Alt click. There we go. Now we have some waves. Okay. G Y or not? Okay, I have some weird rotations from everything. I'm just testing some stuff. Okay, what matters here is that yeah, now you see you can pose this bone. Okay, let's Control Tab 4. Let's go back to the armature object. And now we continue here. Sorry, I now it's a bit confusing because these settings, they are quite arbitrary, right? And so you can augment here and see. So all of them can stretch. Maybe we want this one to stretch more actually, and this one to stretch less. Yeah. So maybe we want this one to stretch very little, right? So we have some. I'm rotating, right? Double R on the bone here, right? So you see we're getting some interesting results. Then for the stiffness, I think for these ones, well, we could try whatever maybe we want. Let's see. This stiffness here, I'm augmenting for Z, X, Y. Nothing's changed too much. This one is probably more important. Control 3. So the X-axis. So maybe I'll select Alt Q, resetting because I've messed up. I'm just testing here. So yeah, also you can use grab. Sorry, grab with pose option, auto IK option, Alt X for me. Then reduce the mouse wheel, yeah, to actually up to 1. Just mouse wheel. Now we can have this locked thresholds here. Okay, just by grabbing with auto IK option. Okay, so in principle, hold shift for lower motion. There's nothing really that yeah, let's leave like this. I think this is working. No need to add so just like stretch here is nice enough for this this one less, this one more, and maybe just a little less, because I don't like GG, so I don't like it when it compresses too much. It could really cause some trouble in the mesh, but maybe I'm too familiar with bendy bones where that is very critical sometimes with the stretch to bone constraint. Okay, so now this is not over because you see that oh, we haven't done anything with this one. Actually, this one we can also stretch it. Let's say an intermediate value here. Yes, this could be useful. Okay, we leave like that. So we have just this variation of stretches. This one doesn't stretch. It's not in the IK chain, so we don't do anything with this. This will just be, so this is a mechanism bone. We're gonna take off its deform property, and it's already parent to the deform chest. Okay, And now we're going to make another bone. Yeah, the problem here is that the breast is leveraged, but not the boob itself. We need another, so we're gonna make a fake parenting with a special setup. So I have already the cursor there, exactly what we want. So we're gonna add here, we're gonna go back, Control 3. We're gonna go to the twig skeleton here. We can hide all this. We want to create, click in the twig. We're gonna add a bone here. We're gonna scale it down, then B-bone scale also here. Okay, then we're gonna scale it here. Shift Alt B, we want it to octahedral because it will be easier to visualize what it's doing. Here for this one, we're gonna use the special color. Maybe we use this one. This is a theme that I have, so special one, but use whichever you want. I would use this for tweakers, but or this one. Yeah, let's maybe this one is fine. Okay, then now we're gonna change this to tweak boob left, and we're gonna, yeah, it is pointing straight up. Let's reset its rule. There's nothing to reset. Alt R to reset rule. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna, the parent of this, it should be, we could parent it to, I don't remember, sorry, I don't remember which is the parent of this right now. I need to go to the, I haven't took note right now, so sorry folks, it shouldn't, yeah, the twigs, right? Parent to the deformed chest. Okay, so this again the this thing that I don't have a mechanism, so yeah, also parent this. This is weird, right? Twig bone parent to the deformed rig, but this is what I have. So just the same parent of this. So select this bone, Control C here for the deformed chest, and select the twig and Control V here. All right, this doesn't symmetrize, so you have to, if you have a symmetrized rig, you have to then shift select the other bone as well, and then apply the same thing in some way. It doesn't automate. It's not like in here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is that we need the twig here, twig shoulder, and shift click the twig boob and Control Tab to pose mode if you're not on pose mode. And then now we're gonna make the fake parenting with varied influence, smooth parenting actually. And so that would be okay, bone constraint. So we're gonna shift Control C, add bone constraint with target. Then we're gonna get not inverse kinematics but copy transforms bone constraint. Okay, so it goes there, but you're gonna change this. So just gonna be for original, target local space, and owner custom space, and Control C the armature object, Control V there on the object, target, and bone target, Control C, Control V. So it's just the same using. Usually it's the same. There are some very rare bizarre cases where we can do something else, but usually this is working. And now what is doing that, this is a fake parent, right? The bone is parent to the chest, but it's following there. But this is not what we want. We want actually a very tiny amount of influence, something like that. Select Alt Q to clear transform. So what actually we need the control skeleton here. Select Alt Q, okay. Now we're gonna, now you see what this does. Well, you don't see very well. Let's pick the twig instead. Okay, you see, it's leveraging that bone. Maybe we want a little more. Okay, so this is interesting. This posing is not affecting the... I didn't remember this problem. Okay, so I have a little problem here, folks, in which I didn't see this this coming. Okay, so we don't seem to have... It is missing an automation. Maybe we could use this from targeting the mechanism. Let's see. I don't think it will work. Upper arm. No, not local space with orientation. This setup only usually works with this. Okay, but now this doesn't seem to be doing the right thing, right? So yeah, in principle should be this one, but let's try this one. No, it's weird. Probably I'm doing something different than the setup that is working. So I was pretty sure it will be this one, but then it doesn't automate. Wait, it does. It is. No, it is not. Okay, I was accidentally grabbing it all together. Yeah. Hold on, folks. I need to check. Okay, so it's not automating through this. So there is a little mistake here. To solve this, it's one of those indirect posing problems. I'm really struggling with that. So what we can do in this case, that will not be sufficient, of course, but we can do this and just change the target here, like... So I'm selecting this bone controls, right? You see what I'm doing, right? So now this is triggered by... I see what's happening. It's taking the rotation as well, of course, because... Okay. So... location and... Okay, so you're gonna get just this one then. Oh yeah, but then we get some nasty things, right? So, okay. Sorry, folks, here we got this leverage. I have done it successfully, I believe, or just I forgot this. So this will require something else in order to adjust properly. Oh, it still has got this one, right? But it's a very minute thing. It doesn't create dependency cycle. Although this bone, even we can even add it to a bone that is in the IK chain. So this is very interesting. But as we see, I need to... It's because of the parenting. This bone is just parented to the control shoulder. This is why it doesn't... There's not a way to get the bone constraint, make it react to the parent posing. If this had a bone constraint instead of the parenting, then yes, it would be different. But I don't have to... in this case, I don't want... I just want a fucking parent, right? So I don't want to have bone constraint instead of a parent. But what we could... Yeah, if I add a parent here, however... Copy transforms. Of course, this will be... Try to make the fake parent again. Probably this is causing... I don't think this is gonna work. It probably will cause some trouble, but the bone is still free to pose, the tweaker. because of the mix, right? And we have this leverage, and the leverage here, well, it's different because it is a rotation, right? Select all resets. Hold on. Yeah, it started doing some sort of inversion, right? It's not like local space with owner orientation. Ah, now it seems good. Okay. But yeah, this is dangerous. You see, this is causing a lot of... Yeah, so I don't have a solution for that right now. But yeah, this will not automate, but this will automate. So maybe it's not that bad. Actually, this can be useful, right? Because... Okay, so there's a variation here. Okay, this is set. We can, if we want, symmetrize all this already, but yeah, if we want, right click. We're gonna do this for the symmetrization for there. So now let's make the scapula, because it's similar to this one but simpler. We're gonna grab this bone, Shift D, left click, numpad 3, GY, let's move it back. Let's position this here. Let's grab this joint, control numpad 1, control, because hold control, right? Because then it will go look back instead of front, right? Then we're gonna grab this head, right? The head, control 3, you see the head is there. Snap to, where is in the face snapping with include non-edited, right? So snapping to hold control, right, to this. So here you could have 1, 2. In my other setup, I've made 3. I mean 2. But in this one, I decided to make 3 to see what happens. So yeah, ideally you try to follow the geometry, the topology, but connections. But we can consider, so extruding here. And then we gonna make the last one about G, hold control somewhere like here. No, this is too low. Also, let's hide some stuff here. We don't need all this stuff. Okay, this is better. Okay, I got this joint. Hold control. Let's put it about here. Maybe this is too low. Let's make it about here maybe. And this one, let's make it like here, right? Maybe here a little upper. So always hold control when to snap. Here, what we do with this part, so we can use the joint there, the same of the control, right? Yeah, so we're gonna make it there, but it's probably not the best idea, right? It says a way to simplify, right? Shift S2, Shift S8. Yeah, no, actually this doesn't look very good. Let's try to follow the mesh, hold control, and then we're gonna just do different for the inverse kinematics. Let's move it a little here, right? Let's place them here. It's okay for the deforms, these bones, because they will hold very low waves. So I'm just augmenting this one because it's the beginning. Then we're gonna select 3 with the control, so with the shift multi-selection, control F2, so set the bones, right? Find replace. So instead of pectoral, control C here, is control V here, instead of pectoralis, gonna call scapula, and we're gonna control F2, I forgot, add this, delete this. We're gonna change here to strip characters, hold shift, digits function, and end. Okay, now control 1, we see that scapula 001, scapula 003. That's great. Now the roles, alt R, alt R, alt R, okay, for each one of them. Let's look at the transforms here. For the role, let's see, let's start with this one. So it's closer here, so I want the z-axis pointing outwards of the surface. This is a negative roll, right? So we're gonna, for this one, try to roll in the negative, not in the positive, right? Just to maintain some more consistency. Control R. Yeah, this is weird, but that's a lot of, that will be fine. Okay, so they are pointing up. Now what we're gonna do, this parent, we're gonna, it has wrong parents, right? So we're gonna actually select this, shift click here, control P, it's already connected. Click this, shift click this, control P, it's already connected. Okay, we can see they are connected. Okay, just this one, we're gonna parent to, okay, click here, control C, the deform to chest, click the scapula, the first one, control V, there we go. Control 2, we see that now this is the same part in there. Okay, the bone starts here for the chest, but it ends there for its tail. Okay, this is ready, but some of this bone, I think, control tab to pose mode. Now, none of them have the I key bone constraint. So now we're gonna get this one, and yeah, actually select this and shift select this. Shift Alt C, my shortcut for copy override the bone constraints, right? It's this one, bone constraints, copy constraints to selected bones, right? Then we gonna, yeah, it already has a chain length, sorry, not this one already has the correct chain length, right? And we don't change anything here. This is just like this. Oh, we might want to change the influence here, because this will be an instant transform, right? Which is okay, but we might want to reduce this for many reasons. But let's start with this. You'll see why it might be important to do. So let's get back to the control here. And now we can double R here. We see that these are offsetting a lot, or no, just from this angle maybe in relation to the mesh. But that's okay, because, hold on, control tab here. Let's just check the control tab 7. Let's just check the waves here. Alt left click. Yeah, they are all correct. So this we have, maybe we can wave paint here. Here we can smooth, I'm smoothing here, right? Yeah, we can get this. Yeah, because now the waves will be a bit different, because I've positioned them differently. So I need to be just a bit careful to have the wave. So this is how I've waved each one of them. Let's see here also. On the front, yes, this, maybe here we want something like this. Yeah, just like this. This seems fine. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go back to Control Tab 4. Select the armature object. Control Tab to pose mode. So now we're gonna do is the testing here. RR. So you see this is too much, but you see the mesh doesn't deform that much. It's not horrible. They are doing their jobs, right? Oops, this is auto I key option. I don't know what happens here. I think it has some stretch. We're gonna go to inverse kinematics panel. No. Oh yeah, this one has a lot of I key stretch. So let's reduce this I key stretch a lot. You see that select Alt Q to reset, Control 2 to hide this stuff, Control 3 to hide the rolls. We can also just select this bone and L and Shift H. This will simplify our vision here, right? So what we see here is that we start with the stretch. Yeah, this is very disruptive, I think, for the mesh. So we want something. This one we want to, yeah, you see, we want it to have somewhat more stretching. This one we want maybe a lot of, some amount of stretch like this. As for this one, Now this one we barely, maybe just the beginning of stretching, right? Select Alt Q, R, select this bone RR or RZ, RX, RXX. Okay. So we see that this is stretching too much. Maybe we can reduce a little. This is where we're gonna play now with the, let's see this one on this pose. Yeah, maybe a little more stretching here. Okay. But we're gonna do something different here. We're gonna go to the I key bone constraint again of the last bone here in the I key chain. We're gonna, actually it will be nice to change these colors, right? Because they have the I key bone constraints. Alt H, let's select this and Shift Alt X to select mirror with extend on. And let's just change this color viewport to something like I don't know what could be a color for. Yeah, usually I use, it's not ideal, but it's not the same category of color, but that will make them more evident. So this hold the I key bone constraint, okay? So now we're gonna, do this thing again, Shift H. Okay, now we RR, let's see. So what we're gonna do, select here, we're gonna look for the I key bone constraint and we're gonna reduce its influence as you please. So now we don't have that much. Select Alt Q, reset, tab. You see there are a lot of changes here. This can be dangerous. We'd like to actually to reset the pose to, but I wasn't being very successful at this for some reason. I don't know why. So let's select all of them three. Tap to pose mode and pose apply selected as rest pose. Oh, that worked. No, that didn't work. You see they're still moving a little. This kind of displaced a lot. Yeah, no, that's not good. So this is actually dangerous from, let's go back until we didn't do that. Okay, so I want them to start on the mesh, but the I key does this, right? So this is a little problem. This is why we might want to have a bone that would actually, on the rest pose, that will actually do the connection, right? So this, instead of varying influence here, but see, with a limited influence, we can have pretty good use of that. Also, one thing that can be dangerous is this bone. If the mesh there went too much there, imagine the mesh start to cross. This is why also we might want this to be less influence. We still don't have good deforms here for other reasons, but we can do this better with better waves. I'm not sure what's happening here. Probably, it's just the position of the, of course, this is a impossible pose, right? So the idea here would be to use this one, right? And then of course we can automate. Here we have some, this setup should help in the waves, but yeah, we need the full control skeleton here actually, so we can grab this and this, auto I key to 2 to 3. Looks like that the stiffness is too much, right? It seems to be failing to do what I want. Like it seems to be stuck and its limit is not even on. There are a lot of things that here. Okay, apparently this bone, I think it's disconnected. No, it is not disconnected. This one got disconnected. This one is connected. Okay, so It's like it's not responding to as it should. It could be the freaking poll target. If that is doing this, could it be? Yeah, there's one chance that it is the. Okay, I'm gonna. No, it's not the poll target. So, okay, folks, this is sorry for this distraction. I don't know why this is not responding, but that's fine. This improves in principle the deforms in the shoulder joint, especially in this when we have this kind of posing, right? So we're gonna continue doing here. There's some more. Go back to the inverse kinematic settings here. So I like start with the I key stretch, then check this the values there of the inverse kinematic, the value of the influence, right? Could be the last thing because it's also gives some options to play with, right? It's good to reset all and keep swapping between pose mode and edit mode to see the change, right? But anyways, yeah, we're gonna keep some value influence like that. And now we need to conclude here for this scapula with inverse kinematics with must be on pose mode. Control tab 2 to pose mode. Here we can use some stiffness. So this is very interesting. We'll start to see in real time some effects. We need to pose something here. So here we're gonna look at the angle, the axis. Shift click those bones again. Shift H. Okay, so we're gonna look at the stiffness of the. It's a bit tricky, but you see the z-axis is there. So we want to maybe augment the stiffness of the z, something like that, and of the x. What did? Okay, let's rotate this bone like this. The x-axis, yeah. So you see where the axis orientations might matter. So maybe we could do something better with the orientations. It seems to sink, so we want a lot of x stiffness maybe, so it sinks less. Here we have another example. It will be better also if you have more, start with all the influence here, so you have more influence to play with. Okay, back to the inverse kinematics panel. Yeah, see, so yeah, here I'm in doubt, so let's just skip this. Z, yeah, we want something more, and Y for this one is not doing so. We don't need. Here, this one is interesting. Maybe this one needs a lot of X. No, I'm not sure. So maybe Y, you see, it makes a difference. Maybe something like that. This is very arbitrary, but whatever. You need to test on multiple pose. We're gonna reduce the influence anyway, so this is just for the gross, right? Test, right? This one, a lot of stiff X, maybe. Because it, yeah, it can stretch. We can play with this. Let's see. Yeah, maybe just a little here. About Y, I don't know. Maybe a little of Y just as for this one. And then the Z, yeah, maybe something about here. All right. And so seeing from various angles, that sounds good. Then, yeah. So you see, this is automation, the smart automation. It can be hard to control in some fashions depending on what we want, but it's very straightforward. Like it's very dynamic, right? It's an inbuilt system that we can use, and you see that it seems to be working. So now we're gonna just get this reduced by. So this one will be very low value, right? Well, maybe a little more. Okay, something like that, right? And maybe we should be careful about the waves here, if they are too much, or if the bones are stretching too much, and all that. But that seems to be fine to me. And so let's select 1, 2, 3, Control Tab to edit mode, and right click, symmetrize operator, and there it is. All right, now we have the Alt H, so we have the breast and the boob, the pectoralis, the scapula. We will need now the collarbone or clavicle. Unfortunately, for this model here, this region is very bad. I particularly this thing I hate it. It's working, but I think it's flat. It's like it's ugly. There's really something. Yeah, maybe needs some trapezium anatomical features here. Here I'm still studying the anatomy of this. What we can do. What would be better here? So I was more dedicated about this part of the neck and the clavicle, but here it starts to get a bit annoying. In this character design, I think the shoulder is too protruded outward, so a bit weird. I don't know why I did that in this. A different character design anyways. Yeah, their shoulder will be yeah, it's a bit weird. The shoulder is too far, and but the torso is too. So this will cause some complications here for the clavicle, but we can abstract it. If I can, I will fix that later in this for another. But for now, we're gonna do the last one. So we're gonna reuse one of these bones. So maybe gonna use this one. Yeah, it already has got the parent, and we're gonna Shift D, move it here. So we're gonna Shift H. Let's skip this one because of the Aikibone constraint reference. So we're gonna grab this tail, snap here, grab this, sorry, this is the head, this is the tail, select, grab, and now Control 3, let's see the axis, reset, Alt R, Control R here, let's make it forward here, or this time let's do different. Let's try to imagine which will be the stiffness that we want. It's a bit hard, right? Yeah, I think I have a hard time now. Okay, I'm gonna place this maybe here. Here would be better if we have better shape. So I'm gonna place it very close instead of in this joint. But this really doesn't matter. This is more about the wave. So I'm holding Control to try to snap this into. So we could have just one bone for the clavicle. So I'm gonna place it about here, and then we're gonna extrude another bone here. Sorry, just one here for so I can snap this tail there. Should it be a good idea? Let's try to do this. Yeah, so this is a very weird, right? So we're gonna, but it can work even if it is on the wrong position, because it will depend on the influence of the Aikibone constraint and some other features. Here I need to grab this joint only with the C, right? And select all. Okay, C, select, right click. Right, so this is, so I think the Z-axis here, yeah, I want this to be facing, so C, left click, grab, move forward, right click. No, that's it. Okay, so this bone might not even be a deformed bone, right? But it is currently in my rig, so I don't know how to do this, but I have an idea here how to make an improvement here. We're gonna accept these roles here, Alt R. No, something like this. Okay. We're gonna now Control. Now we need to check the parent. Okay, this is deformed chest. This is connected to this one. Let's shift click them both and Control F2. Find replace. We're gonna change that to Instead of scapula, we're gonna name them to clavicle or collarbone clavicle. I prefer clavicle. And then this time we won't forget, add strip characters, hold shift, and that. There we go. So now we're gonna change this as well. Actually, change this color here. Yeah, I'm gonna make this pretty small. And we're gonna shift click this viewport display for the bone tab. We copy to selected. There we go. And so now we're gonna tap to pose mode, select. What are all these bones here? Yeah, I was building them like that. So select this, this, and this. Shift H. Let's oh, I forgot. Alt H. I need this for the IK bone constraint, right? So let's do this, this, and this. Shift H. Now we got what we're gonna do is gonna select this and then this, and then we're gonna do Shift Alt C, and now this got Shift Alt C, and now this got the same, exactly the same bone constraint. So chain length of 2 for this one. Control 2 to look at the chain length. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. No, it's not 3, it's 2. That goes to the deformed chest, would be terrible. All right, so let's see if the waves are correct. Control Tab, select the mesh object. Control Tab 7 to wave pane mode. I'm looking with the simplify. Shift Control Alt I to take this off. It lags in my computer. So here, Alt left click here, Alt left click here. Okay, they have exactly the waves, these two, right? And now let's okay, we have all we need here, but let's just check if these waves, what they are, right? That looks adequate. Yeah, feasible. Okay, strong waves in the clavicle here. Sort of. We can improve this a lot in many ways, but there we go. I decided to have just one bone here for the frontal part, but we can play with this in many ways. It will depend. You have to have a good feeling about the joint of the bones, how they will in relation to the mesh, to the anatomy, or the inverse kinematics, what we can do with that. So it's a lot of trial and error, right? But it's not too hard. So okay, so now what you're gonna do is that this one it will leave like that. Oh, you can also, yeah, we're gonna end up reducing this influence, but let's leave at 1 for now. We want to, this is creating a terrible thing there. So what we're gonna do here to start with, I'm curious here. Let's use this lock first. So yeah, this is interesting. So you see it works like a structural bone. This struct ball is not too good for this. The grabbing with auto IK option at auto IK length of mouse wheel scroll to 1. Yeah, here 1. Okay, this is the best for posing this. You see that this stretch can be very dangerous for the mesh, but it's not that dangerous. So maybe we're gonna change here. This stretch, we're gonna try to, we can leave it to 0. Let's see. Yeah, what about this one? So let's augment this stretch of this one. This can be very dangerous because this bone, so no IK stretch here, and this one we're gonna, the first here, we're gonna just bring a little of, yeah, some amount of stretching like here. But yeah, this is actually pretty bad, right? I don't want it to be doing like that. So we're gonna reposition this. Select this joint, hold control. Let's try to place it about here. Control tab to 2 to pose mode. It's grabbing actually with the auto IK option. All right. Okay, let's hide this one. That sounds reliable. It's not like, yeah, here we could make some improvements, but in principle, just don't confuse the settings here with these others. So this IK lock, I'm not sure if we want that. You see, this also works, but I want it locked because, like, maybe it's better at working as a mechanism bone. And maybe if I could turn it off, it deforms. Now, it really does very little to the mesh. It doesn't have many waves. This one has stronger waves. So I already anticipated this thing. It's just for the IK bone way to, but we could also try to ignore this bone, delete it, and just leave this one with the IK. But I decided to do like this. And this is where the positioning, right, of the shoulder in the anatomy of this character design is causing some trouble, because the target here, I would need a better target for this, right? A bone that will be, right, the mechanism shoulder is here. So you see the idea, right? Why we could employ a different target for the IK bone constraint. It will simplify, so this will be stretching. So I'm here instead of right there. But you see, this also works. So no, not as weird as it is. It is going backwards here. Okay, so now for the we could try some lock IK here. Actually, we could augment the stiffness of the y-axis for the first of clavicle. This is kind of interesting. It twists less, and for some reason this seems to improve the way it behaves in this particular setup. Then we could try, go back here. Let's see, the X don't seem to do much, so we're gonna leave it very small. And the Z, what is this? A lot of, no, we want the Z axis, Control 3, is how it rotates like this, right? So now we want a lot of Z. So we don't want, we want just a small stiffness. And X, yeah, X is also, is this one actually, is this motion. So there we go. Yeah, so here we go. So we got them. Never confused. Here we start to destroy the rig. Alt H, let's Control 2, Control 1, Control 3. Let's see this, if I messed up some things. Yeah, I messed some stuff here. Oh yeah, we've messed some, lot of stuff here. I don't know here, so I'm gonna just do this and symmetrize, okay. And wait, before I symmetrize, Alt H, let's see. Yeah, this value here I'm gonna copy back. So I've messed this up. Okay, so also I've messed this up. All right, so now symmetrize. All right, but now we need this and symmetrize too. Yeah, I'm going fast because now we've done pretty much. Yeah, and this, you see, oh, there's another thing. So this one we don't gonna make a leverage, but this one we're gonna make. So it's the scapula, the base of the scapula. We're gonna look for the, yeah, so sorry, the skeleton here, then this, and this. Okay, Shift H. So what we're gonna do, okay, sorry again. We want, we're not gonna use this bone, but we're gonna copy its bone constraint. So select the first, is the first in the IK chain, and this is the last in the IK chain. You see, we could have a mini bone like this one to take the IK bone constraint and go straight with a IK locked to the right. It could be even be not a deformed bone. So it's a space gap solver bone. So shift select this, shift click this, shift alt C, and now this got this bone constraint. And yeah, it will have the same problem, meaning that it will automate. You see this bone is leveraging. We can move this. You see, this is interesting. And as it leverages, let's make some simplifications here to this. This is too bright, right? Okay. Okay, see there's some leverage there, and if you don't have this enabled, there's no leverage. It could be good, but some amount of leverage, I think it's anatomically correct because all the others are moving. But if it moved too, that will be even slightly, that will be good. However, it doesn't react. This is just a stretching. If I shift S3 on this bone, I look at the cursor there. You see, it's not really. Yeah, it is suffering some motion, but oh, it's because of. Oh, of course, it's because the target is no, it's the tweak shoulder. Okay. Interesting. Now it decided to. Well, it is moving. I'm not sure, folks, but this for sure is doing what I want. So you see, it has, besides all the I-key thing, inverse kinematics from the I-key bone constraint, it is doing this stuff. And also it is having this copy transforms. You can do this here because I don't know why they have this. Okay. And yeah, because I was editing, trying to. So folks, this is the solution here for this thing. We have a full setup of the, well, no, there's still something cool that I think would be nice to have here is the trapezium muscle group, right? All this stuff here in the back of the neck and the upper torso, the back of the upper torso, all that, including the shoulder. So this will be very nice if we can do this correctly to make great deforms here. If we have a character with good anatomy for that, especially, and good mesh topology, good waves, and good helper bone system. Okay, and the other thing here would be the okay, I have to look at the plan. I don't remember. Armpit, yeah. So the armpit is like just in case if we are having, yeah, we're having some weird deforms here. So this can certainly be improved by some helper bones in the corrective bones in the armpits region. Actually, when we grab this, this shouldn't go. Yeah, without IQ option. Okay, it doesn't go below. So, but yeah, if it did, there would be a lot of weird stuff. So you see, this is not sufficient to solve everything. The armpit is very complicated. I have a T pose, so it's even more complicated than an A pose or something like that with relaxed arm. So this is, but it's not, shouldn't be too hard to solve. There are many solutions here that maybe with just better waves, and also there's the problem of this. This shoulder is a bit incorrect, and even for the character design, it's weird, right? So a bad choice, I think, but we can rig this still and make it look good with certain things. So in comparison to the stage 2, which is the yeah, we made something slightly different, but what we have different here is probably these values here, which are sort of arbitrary. So we'll see a lot of stuff here. Oh, I also forgot in the first one. the inverse kinematics is set to 1, right? But it could be reduced a little, right? So you can reduce a little and see if we get any improvements for this and this shift H, right? What we want, is that good or yeah, so we want a lot of I key here, so maybe not full, but a lot. So what we'll do is that for the regarding the target on the mechanism skeleton, this target here, the tail of the bone won't follow. Here it's following apparently. Now there's it start to offset, right? But the others offset even more because they started not touching it, right? Like this one, but it still offsets anyways because it has a lower, even lower value, right? And as for this, the first that we've made, this one has, oh, this is full influence. We can change that. So you see, this reduces the, so this can also improve the setup if you want. So there it is, folks. So I'm not gonna look at the things. There are too many little things and it will be hard to compare from one scene to the other, but essentially there are, you'll see that is working too, and there might be small difference, and you need to play with that, and probably you can find something better. Then maybe this an area to specialize, right? Helper bones with inverse kinematics through bone constraint. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care and happy Blender. I hope that was interesting, and this is a good topic, I think, original stuff for organic rigging in Blender, and so I don't know why there's no tutorial about that. It's very niche, but it's also super cool. So hope that you enjoyed, and see you tomorrow. We'll be back with yeah, probably these others two. We're gonna try to finalize this in sequence. Yeah, it will be better. And then to continue, I would like to, yeah, there's something about the fanny bones to really get something good on the shoulder. That will be, this will depend if I can do it good, look good in my own time. Otherwise, we're gonna make pinning setup for here, some custom property for them, and also there's something else for the arm which I might be forgetting, but essentially we are essentially fixing everything related to the arms here. That's it, folks. So we are about to conclude the arms in 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, workshops, online workshops. So thanks, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy blendering.